everyone in the collective. Hopefully everybody can hear me. I'm gonna go ahead with the messages that I got from the spirits that visited me about 5 nights ago here, about 4 or 5 nights ago. So this would have been the first night that I was sick. Now, if you aren't into this type of stuff, I suggest you click off. This is for people that have seen unexplained things. They may see things out of the corner of their eye. You may have an inquiring mind about seeing into the spiritual realm, how it works, who has that sight. Not everybody has it, and not everybody, a lot of people have it, but they don't acknowledge it. And eventually, it's not that it goes away, it's that you allow yourself to put a veil over your own eyes when you don't acknowledge the unseen realm. They are always around us at any and all given times here. These spirits are not demonic, they are not evil, they are not negative spirits here. So this would have been the first night that I was sick, like I said, about 5 nights ago, and now I kind of explained to everybody in the collective, and I have the lights off, y'all, because the light has been natural, or the artificial light has been hurting my eyes and my body. So um, when I get sick, and I don't get sick often, I do different stuff. My body does different things. My spirit, my soul, it does different things. Okay. So as I was laying there the other night, and this is pretty late at night, um, sometimes I can be fully awake. Okay. And I come outside of my body and I am aware that my physical body, my physical form is laying there and that it is in a state of rest, not sleep, rest. And I can feel my spiritual body outside of my physical body, but I can also feel my physical body. This is not made up. This is not pretend here. This is something that I actually am able to do. Okay. So as I was laying there, again, this is when I first got sick. The first thing I saw sitting at the edge of the bed, but on the floor, right? I'm at my mom's house, so on the edge of the bed on the floor was a little girl. She was about 7 years old. She was very, very fair skinned. She had medium auburn hair. Her hair was in a lot of like bobals and barrettes and stuff. It came to like right here. She told me her name was Della. Now she was laughing and stuff like that, and she was coloring. So I assume she likes to color a lot. Okay. She was sitting right there, like clear as day, clear as day. Like this is not, I wasn't asleep. I was fully awoke and aware. Okay. And so she was sitting on the floor there, and she was coloring and she was laughing and stuff. She had on a dark blue shirt. It could have been Tommy Hilfiger or Nautica here. It had a red and blue emblem with white writing, and it was short sleeve, and the sleeves of her shirt, the trim of it was light blue, and then around her neck, the trim of it was light blue, and she had on light blue jean shorts here, and she had on all white socks and all white tennis shoes. Okay, and she was just laughing and coloring, and I asked her what her name was, and she said Della, and she just kept coming laughing. Now, one thing that I will say about her, one thing I noticed is that her front tooth on the right side, you know how when kids lose their teeth, they lose their baby teeth, and then they grown teeth grow in, and sometimes their grown teeth, their bigger teeth or adult teeth, they grow in, and other baby teeth haven't fell out. This particular tooth, it had started to grow this way over tooth next to it that was still like a baby tooth or something like that. So that's one thing that I noticed about her. And she all of a sudden, like most of the times when I hear talking or voices, it be in my head. Yes, it be in my head, but this time it was like somebody was sitting right there with me and they yelled something, but it wasn't in English. It could have been possibly like Portuguese or something like that. Because it almost sounded Spanish, but it wasn't Spanish here. And I'm definitely picking up on maybe like heavy Portuguese. It could have been Italian here. I don't know. But they yelled something, and it wasn't her. It was a probably possibly an older feminine, possibly an older sister, even a mother, an aunt, yelling at her. Okay. So next, So she disappeared after the yelling. I'm like, what? Like, who was that? Like, it rarely happens like that, but when it does, like, you can't mistake it. Okay. So the next spirit that I seen, I was laid back down. I'm like, you know, and I released her. I called upon an angelic escort to escort her to her rightful place here for her to be able to transition properly here. Okay. Now, the next spirit I laid back down, and then the next spirit I seen was a little boy. He could have been 7 years old. His name could be Seven. His name also could have been Sam or Sean here. He had on a very, very bright colored throw tie-dye throw blanket. And he had it over his head because he was running through he was running through the kitchen. And I wanted to sit up and be like, boy, what you doing running around the house with that blanket on your head at this time of night, right? So he ran through the kitchen. I didn't see him anymore, but he was laughing as well. So then the next images that came in were of three different people, but I wasn't allowed to hone into them, and I didn't understand or really grasp why it was just flickers of people's pictures here, or their faces here. Three, right? And then the last person I saw, it was an older man, brown skin, about my color, tall, slim. His name was Tom. He had hair that was short here, like here, and it was all in beautiful ringlets, right? And he had on this. I wouldn't call it a top hat. It's more so kind of like a straw hat, but one of the more, like Harlem Night style hats. But it was like the straw style, and then you put it. Thank you. And then you put. And he had that hat on. It had a short brim to it, and around it, and he could be like a keeper. He could be like a shop or ends keeper here. Could be he also could have been like a banker or something of that nature, but very, very handsome, very, very handsome man. Again, his name was Tom. And then I saw him. So he was just smiling very politely and stuff. Again, I was not scared or anything like that. Okay. So I called upon escorts to escort them to their rightful place to allow for them to transition in the proper manner. Now, the reason why I feel like that these spirits, they did not transition in a chaotic way or in a low vibrational or negative manner is because they showed up to me when I was sick, which indicated to me that they could have passed away. Like something could have suddenly happened. Their health took a turn for the worse here. They could have suddenly, like went in for a simple procedure. Tom could have been older when he went in for a procedure. I was just seeing him maybe in his late 20s, early 30s. Okay. This could have been like people went in for a procedure, or maybe they were battling cancer. And this is a trigger warning to some people, because I don't know. But they showed up to me while I was sick and they were okay. Okay. Now, what I was being told by my ancestors here is that the reason why they showed up is because whomever is here, their loved ones that are here that are missing them terribly. Maybe you didn't like Della. Like I said, older feminine yelled at her. She liked to color a lot. It could have been yelling at her about something about getting her crayons and having the crayons and stuff all over the floor, or whatever the case may have been. But and maybe she could have got sick after that and transition for whatever reason here. I felt a lot of like sadness and grief, a lot of like, how if anybody has ever lost a loved one suddenly, right? They go into the hospital for sickness, illness, pneumonia, flu, cancer treatment, anything like that. And then they just don't come out. They go in for an operation or surgery and they just don't make it out here. There's always this, I should not have said this. I wish I could have said this. I wish I could have told them I love them. And so what this does is, because I got tethers, okay? Energetic tethers. So for those of you who it feels like, for those of you that this message may resonate with, or that has lost a loved one suddenly, okay, I want you to know what energetic tethers are. This will be the same thing as energetic cords. And what happens is people will pass away. They will transition. It happens, and my condolences definitely go out to the families of the spirits that I did see. you create tethers. And what happens with these tethers, all this grief and sorrow and pain of you not wanting to let them go, of you wishing like you could have one last chance with them. I know it hurts. I really do. I know it hurts. Trust me. Trust me. I know it hurts. But with all that grief, that sorrow, that pain, you create an energetic tether. And it doesn't, even if they pass away peacefully, those tethers of all your pain, your grief, your sorrow, your apologies, your everything, it holds them, almost like holds them, because they've already transitioned from the physical realm. And you transition from the physical realm, and then they typically get ushered into the afterlife, okay? And then they transition, and it is determined whether or not they will repeat a life cycle or whatever the case may be. But what happens with these energetic tethers that are created from all of the sadness, bro, the sadness is it holds those spirits from transitioning, and they get stuck in what is called the in between. And y'all need to know this, okay? Y'all need to know this, right? And this is why we practice the art of detachment, heavy on it. My oldest son died last year, so, but I know about energetic tethers. So holding on to him, all that grief, I went through my grieving, my sorrow. I still go through it today. But it causes the spirit to not be able to properly transition because of the energetic or spiritual tether, okay? And it gets them stuck in the in between. And if they are stuck in the in between for far too long, there are energies, there are very, very terrible energies, okay, that roam the in between. These are people who died tragically. These are spirits that never had an actual human form nor a soul, okay? And they roam in the in between, okay? And a spirit going from the physical through the in between, because they go straight through the in between typically, and then into the transition phase, right? A spirit that is being held back by these energetic tethers, they get stuck in the in between. And if they're there too long, these disembodied spirits, these non-human spirits, these soulless spirits, they attach to them. They attach to their spirits of those who were meant to transition. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just telling the truth. Like and I know this to be the message that I got, because like I said, after I seen the little boy, his name could have been Samuel 7, he could have been 7, his name could be Sean, okay? After I seen him, like I said, there were 3 flashes of 3 different faces of people, but it was like quick, quick, quick. And I was like, well, why didn't I let me meet these spirits? Is because those particular people, those particular spirits that had transitioned from the physical realm, those are ones that had energetic tethers to the physical realm for whatever reason that kept them stuck in the in between, not allowing them to transition. And they stay stuck so long in the in between that something demonic, something negative, something evil had attached itself to those particular spirits, right? And that's why my ancestors and spirit teams would not let me hone in on those particular spirits, because of what was attached to them from them being stuck in the in between. Okay, so that's pretty much the message that I needed to give out for that. It's been weighing so heavy on my spirit, on my soul. And like I said, for the ones like the others, they were so peaceful, they were so happy, they were smiling, they were just in beautiful, beautiful energy, and they were okay. Like they were more than okay. For whatever reason that they transitioned, they were more than okay. And I don't speak about this a lot, because to do tarot is one thing collective. But when I talk about like, oh, you see spirits, you see ghosts, you see entities, you see energies, like, yeah, I do. I do. I always have. Always, always have. Even my children. everywhere we've ever lived, we've always seen them. Always. Always. And there had been a time in my life, in all the years that I have been alive, that I have not seen spirits or seen into the unseen. Okay? So, that's pretty much the message. And I feel so much better. I feel so much like, because also, not giving out the messages from those spirits, like, as I thank them for showing themselves to me, and I called upon angelic escorts to escort them into their transitional phase here. They wanted me to energetically, okay, to give out the messages that they were okay. And as long as I've been holding on to this for like 5 days, the sicker I become, okay? The sicker I become, the more heavier I feel, the more displaced I feel, okay? But they did transition well. And if I have unknowingly, called upon them and kind of pulled them back if they're still in the transition phase, the places with their guardian angels at this time, so that they transition in a proper, most healed manner as the Most High God sees it. Ashe, so mo to be, and so it is. I have been lighting sage here. And I'm gonna say prayers for the families that lost those particular people. Loss, but that death is only the beginning. I pray that you find peace, solace of your mind, body, soul, and spirit at this time. Peace with their passing, and know that they are okay and that you will eventually see them again. However, it is that you are allowed to see them. And I ask that y'all that just release the pain here, release the energetic tethers as well. Because the pain, the agony, the grief it is it is debilitating. It feels debilitating to me. It's like it's handicapping me. And I know all grief all too well because I know what it is that I'm feeling. Okay. But yeah, I pray for everybody to have peace of the mind, body, soul, and spirit, solace in your lives. Continue to work. Yeah. And Ashe. Someone to be, and so it is. So, collective, I'm going to go ahead and end that particular read right there. And that's not really just a read, that's just a message. Um, Very glad to be of service to the collective. I'm trying to make sure all the energy dissipates. I release all energies back to their respective places with love and light, peace and blessings, healing, prosperity, abundance, and many, many prayers. As I call my power, my energy back, my healing back to me, my vitality back to me, and all energetic fields and quantum fields of mine that is my own, from all people, places, things, situations, energies that have connected to me, drained from me, or siphoned from me, both known and unknown. Ashe. And I close all doors and portals to and from my energy, including that of this read, and all portals known and unknown, including the siphoning agents and agencies that are connected to said portals. And I close those portals, doors, windows, cracks, and crevices indefinitely. Ashe, so mote it be. And so it is. Collective, I will see y'all on the next particular read. I don't know if I'm gonna do another one tonight. I'm gonna see if I can go to sleep. I'm being honest, okay? But I love y'all, and be sure to tune in and tap in for any other tarot reads, divine messages, spiritual messages, or any insight that I may have, because I love being of service to everyone in the collective. And I hope to see y'all soon again. Stay blessed and